Yo, what's good YouTube, man? Welcome back to another reaction video. And in today's video, we're going to be reacting to football rivalries. And honestly, who doesn't like a good rivalry? I feel like rivalries is when the best games are played. They're more physical. The two teams kind of hate each other, and those bring out the best moments, the best competition. I honestly do feel like it brings out the best moments and the best competition. So I'm super excited for this video. Also, if it's your first time here, this channel is here to help me learn more about the game of football and to help me get ingrained into the culture. So if you want to join the journey, make sure I hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate y'all who subscribed already. Much love, much love, much love. But let's get into this video, man. Let's go.
We all know
Chat,
the
they
great
already
rivalries
pushing.
in
Look at them.
football, but we rarely know where they really come from. Behind these explosive matches.
Oh, this is crazy. These are people. It looks like. What are they burning right here with all these people around? That's a little. What are they burning right here, chat? All these people around. Nah, that's crazy.
There are stories of cities at war, social classes clashing, and political wounds that never healed. Today, we're diving into the origins of the fiercest rivalries in football.
Let's
go.
Arsenal and Hotspur. We're just gonna call them Hotspur.
At the beginning, these two clubs weren't even supposed to be rivals. Everything changed in 1913. Arsenal left South London and moved to Highbury, right into Spurs territory. For Tottenham.
Ooh, don't tell me that. Arsenal walked into y'all trap and literally took over it. They made a home in y'all trap and y'all dispersed. Spurs, y'all allowed that? That's crazy.
Fans, it was an invasion, but the real fire started in 1919. After World War I, the league wanted to expand the first division from 20 to 22 clubs. Tottenham, who had finished 20th and were due for relegation, expected to stay up, but instead, Arsenal, who had finished 5th in the second division, were elected into the first division ahead of Spurs.
Wow, chat, don't tell me they walked in y'all trap. They walked in y'all trap, took it over, and they kicked y'all out of the... Wow.
Why? Because the FA had no clear rule for allocating the extra spots. So a vote was held. Arsenal chairman Henry Norris managed to gather enough votes to promote his club. He was accused of bribery, but nothing was ever proven. For Tottenham, Arsenal had stolen their place, and that feeling never died. From that moment, the rivalry became cultural. Spurs see themselves as the rightful club of North London.
Hey, I can see how that's a rivalry, though. I can see how that is a rivalry. I can see how that's a rivalry. But also, chat, it ain't no way Tottenham, y'all let these folks come in and just take over, bro. No way. No way. It'll be some... Y'all let them walk in and take over, bro.
Arsenal as the ambitious invader. Over the decades, tensions grew. In the late 1990s and 2000s, Arsene Wenger gave Arsenal a massive sporting advantage. The Gunners finished above Spurs so often that Arsenal fans created St. Totteringham's Day, the date in the season when Arsenal are officially guaranteed to finish above Tottenham, a tradition that sums up the balance of power.
Is this still going on right here, chat? Is this still going on or not?
The defining moment came in 2004. Arsenal won the Premier League at White Hart Lane, Tottenham's home ground.
Wow.
An insult burned into the memory of both sets of fans. Even for players, crossing the divide is explosive. Sol Campbell, a Spurs Academy product, signed for Arsenal in 2001. The reaction? Insults, banners, torn shirts.
And chat, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. So did he leave from Arsenal and went to Tottenham? Let me go back. I think he left from Arsenal and went to Tottenham, right?
The divide is explosive. Sol Campbell, a Spurs Academy product, signed for Arsenal in 2001. The reaction?
Oh, he signed to Arsenal. Nah, that's crazy. And it's also crazy, like, usually when you sign to a different team, you usually go somewhere else. But, bro, he signed to Arsenal, and, like, literally, that's the same territory as Tottenham. So you're going to see them same fans. You're going to see the same people damn near. Like, that's crazy. I wonder how far is it away from each other? How far is it away?
Insults, banners, torn shirts, and a hatred that still follows him to this day.
Hey, he hella mad. He hella mad, bro.
Torn shirts, and a hatred that still follows him to this day. More than just a match, this derby is built on history, territory, and a century-old sense of injustice that refuses to disappear. The Derby della Madonnina is one of the most unique derbies on the planet. Two rival clubs sharing the exact same stadium.
Wow.
It all begins.
Bro, this is how the Clippers and the Lakers used to be. Clippers and the Lakers used to share the same. I think it was a Staples Center. They used to share the same stadium. I never understood how that worked out. Like I don't know. I would not like to share the same stadium as like somebody else. I just wouldn't like to do that honestly. It would never feel like home to me, or it would never feel like, you know what I mean? Because somebody else plays here. Like it just would never feel like home honestly.
In 1908. Inside AC Milan, a major disagreement breaks out. Some directors want to limit the signing of foreign players. Others refuse the idea. The split is total. The result? A group leaves the club and creates Internazionale.
Chat, do you think people look at our pictures? So like this picture is in 1908. Do you think people are gonna look at our pictures? Like I'm not talking about them, chat, but just look at how they're sitting and things of that nature. Do you think people are gonna look at our pictures? Cause nobody, honestly, nobody sits like this right now. Not that anything is wrong with it, but nobody sits like this right now, bro. Nobody sits like that. So do you think people are gonna look at our pictures 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years down the line and think the same thing that I'm thinking now? Like, why are they sitting so like crazy and weird? You know what I mean? That's off topic, but
The split is total. The result? A group leaves the club and creates Internazionale. Suddenly, the city is divided into two sporting identities. Milan, attached to its Italian roots, and Inter, more open, more international. That
mm,
separation is the very origin of the rivalry. From there, history does the rest. In the late 80s and 90s, Arrigo Sacchi's and Fabio Capello's Milan becomes a global reference, probably the best team in the world at that time. Inter responds years later, notably with Mourinho and his historic treble in 2010. Along the way, the derby produces several iconic scenes. The most famous one, Champions League, 2005. A flare thrown from the stands
nah,
hits
that's
goalkeeper
crazy.
Dida. Match suspended. Iconic image.
Ah, no way. That's crazy. Chat, has there ever been a Malice in the Palace kind of thing happen with soccer? Has it ever been like a Malice in the Palace? If you guys don't know what Malice in the Palace is, it was where Ron Artest somebody threw a drink at Ron Artest. He was laying on the scorer's table, and then he got hit with it, and he ran up to the crowd, and it was a big fight. Has anything like that ever happened? Because I'm not gonna lie, that's a flare throwing it at somebody's head is it's a little it's a little crazy, bro.
Rui Costa and Materazzi standing side by side, watching the
That's
chaos.
also a tough
More
picture.
recently, in 2021, Ibrahimovic and Lukaku clashed in the Coppa Italia, proof that the rivalry has never cooled down. Milan Inter is a fracture born for Italia.
Chat, we reacted to him right here before. We reacted to him before. Cause what is this, bro? I've never been so mad at somebody like where I just get in a face and it's just like this. I've never been so heated. Honestly, bro, I'm not letting you get close to my face like this at all, bro. Like, it's over with. I'm not. You're not getting close to my face like this. I'm not getting close to your face like this. If we're in a disagreement and we ever come towards each other, it's over with, bro. I'm gonna give you a little push like this, like, bro, get back. And if you keep walking up, it's gonna be game on. I'm just honestly, this right here is this would never like. I don't see the purpose of this. I don't like. Look at this. They kissing foreheads. Like I don't see the purpose of this. Honestly.
Proof that the rivalry has never cooled down. Milan Inter is a fracture born from an internal split, and one that continues to be passed on from one generation of Tifosi to the next. In Greece, the simple word derby isn't enough.
Chat, y'all love fire, bro. Dang, and then look. I'm pretty sure they out there because it's a rivalry. I don't think they have these people with these shields and stuff like this at every game now. I'm pretty sure this is probably here because of the rivalry and they know how heated it was gonna get. But chat, I'm gonna be real, bro. Man, imagine, bro. Coming from an American playing sports, seeing fire in the crowd, I would be a little like worried a little bit, like what's going on right there, bro?
Here, they call it the Derby of the Eternal Enemies. Athens, a cultural upper-class capital. Piraeus, a
Oh,
working-class
that's
rough
nice.
port
That's
city.
beautiful.
Two worlds, separated by just a few kilometers, and a hatred that's been alive since the 1920s. Olympiakos represents the port workers. Panathinaikos, the elite of the capital. From the very beginning, the rivalry has been social, almost political. On the pitch, the advantage is clearly red and white. Olympiacos has dominated recent decades, stacking titles and crushing the league. But this derby has never been just a match. The tension around it
Hey, is
often
this Kappa?
and crushing the league. But this
What? That's Kappa? No, that's nice. I've never seen like Kappa being rubbed with like sports teams and sports brands. That's nice. Dang.
derby has never been just a match. The tension around it
Look at the
often goes
fire.
far beyond football. The most tragic moment came in 1981, after an Olympiacos victory. A crush in the stands caused 21 deaths, one of the worst disasters.
21 deaths. Wow, bro. That's a little crazy, chat. And I'm not gonna lie, I love when like teams get heated and it's a rivalry going on, people going back and forth and things like that. The crowd is hyped, ecstatic, all of that, but it does get to a point to where it can get a little dangerous, man. And bro, 21 lives taken is, man, sad, bro.
In European football. Most of the victims were Olympiacos supporters, something Panathinaikos fans mocked in 2015 with a banner reading, "May the living go join the dead."
Wow. Are you serious? Wow. This incident happened a long time ago, right? But they're mocking this in 2015? Wow, bro.
Rivalry doesn't stop at football. It spills into basketball, handball, even volleyball.
So, chat, does it ever get to a point to where, things get too physical, things get a little bit crazy to where they don't like play each other anymore? Because I'm gonna be real, I had my basketball year, I played basketball in high school. My 10th grade year, it was a huge fight. Like the crowd was all in the fights and stuff like that. And the school was literally like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from where, our school was. So it was kind of a rivalry. We have yet to play that team again since that day. I think it happened in 2016, maybe. I think it was 2016. We have yet to play that school again, bro. So I wonder, is it anything like that goes on, or is I think it's different because this is high school and this is like professional, like money is involved and things of that nature. So
At the beginning, Boca and River are neighbors, both born in the port district of La Boca, but quickly their paths diverge. River moves north, settles in the wealthier district of Núñez, and adopts a more bourgeois identity. Boca stays in the working class streets of the south. The fracture is born. Boca is the people, the heritage of Italian immigrants.
So I feel like all these rivalries, chat. Sorry for pausing. All these rivalries are like the people versus people, but it's like the working class people versus I guess the rich class people. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but
River is Los Millonarios, a club seen as rich, more glamorous, more polished.
exactly.
The social opposition becomes automatic. On the pitch, they meet everywhere. League, cups, youth teams, every matchup is a cultural battle. The stands are open-air theaters. At La Bombonera, the stadium literally shakes. The chants
Jeez.
never stop. Smoke, flags everywhere, and an atmosphere you can feel through the TV. At El Monumental, it's the same. Militant, rhythmic, overwhelming.
Chat, I'm gonna be real, bro. I started this channel, and I'm super excited for it. Super, super, super excited for it. And obviously, eventually, I want to travel and go to these games and get ingrained into the culture more. So, bro, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Being a foreign person going into another country like this, going to a sporting event, I'm a little nervous. I can't cap. I might need to leave my girlfriend home and things like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The most iconic modern moment, the 2018 Copa Libertadores final. First leg, 2-2 at La Bombonera. The return leg, though, descends into chaos. Boca's team bus is attacked, several players are injured, and the match
Dang.
is postponed. A historic decision is made, the game is moved to Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. River wins, a sporting triumph, and an eternal wound for Boca.
I know PSG.
When we think about the French league, the rivalry that comes to mind is PSG versus Marseille. But that rivalry was actually manufactured from scratch. In the early 1990s, Bernard Tapie on the Marseille side and Canal Plus on the Paris side wanted to create the headline matchup of the league. Two big cities, and, above all, two clubs under the spotlight, in France and in Europe. The first official PSG OM took place only in 1971. For a long time, almost nothing. No decisive clashes, no deep popular hatred. Marseille's real enemies were Bordeaux, Saint-Etienne, Nice. But everything changed when OM dominated France. Then Europe in 1993. Paris wanted to exist in front of the flamboyant South. The story took shape. Capital versus province, city of lights versus working class city.
Another one, chat. City of lights versus working class citizen is always, I feel like it's always, working class citizens versus the rich. I'm not saying that the rich isn't working class, but bro, y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? Y'all do.
Mediterranean. Tapie fueled the fire to motivate his players. Canal Plus turned the fixture into a premium TV product. The word classique slowly imposed itself in the media. On the pitch, the clashes became media events. In the 90s, both clubs became the only French teams to win a major European trophy. Then, after PSG's takeover in 2011, the balance flipped. Paris started stacking titles and winning almost every classique. Yet the tension remains untouched. In 2020, a match at
they hitting. Oh, look at him on the ground. Dang. So, chat, I got a question about when people, get into it and they fight and stuff like that. So, usually in American, the United States, in the States or whatever, if you're fighting somebody or somebody, if your teammate is getting into it, if people see you and you're not helping and you just standing off to the side or stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna get on your ass, bro. Is it the same thing with football? Is it the same thing? Because if you sitting there and your brother's in need and especially he on the ground like this and they catch you or not necessarily catch you, because you don't have to do it. You grown, bro. You don't have to do anything. But basically, if they see, there's cameras everywhere. If they see and they see you not doing nothing, bro, they're going to be on your ass, bro. They're going to be on your ass. Is it the same way with football or no?
Park turned into chaos. 5 red cards, a mass brawl, Neymar accusing an opponent of racist insults.
Wow.
A modern symbol of how fiery.
Oh, they dead is fighting, chat. Look, they punching. Fist ball. Ooh, connection. He ain't connect hard enough, though. He ain't connect hard enough. It ain't too much. His form is off a little bit. He's still connected, though.
It's become. Today, the Classique isn't a geographical derby. It wasn't born naturally, but it imposed itself through TV, sporting politics, and emotion. In Liverpool, the rivalry started over a rent dispute. In 1892, Everton were playing their home matches at Anfield. A financial disagreement broke out with the stadium owner, who believed the rent was too high. So Everton packed up and moved across Stanley Park to Goodison. The owner of Anfield, left without a team, decided to create a new club. That club was Liverpool. And the unique thing about the Merseyside Derby is that it splits families, and sometimes even players. Jamie Carragher, a Liverpool legend, actually grew up an Everton supporter. On the pitch, Liverpool have dominated most of the rivalry since the 70s and 80s, thanks to their domestic and European success. But derbies here are always unpredictable, tight, physical, emotional. One of the most powerful moments came in 1989 in the FA Cup final. Just weeks after the Hillsborough...
Bro, look at this. This is crazy, bro. This is nuts. This is nuts, bro. This is a sad situation I'm about to talk about, but I never knew that you could, I never knew that this could happen, bro. Until I seen the Travis Scott situation, bro, that was crazy. And now look at this. They're literally getting squeezed and squished, and that's... Man.
The two clubs met at Wembley. More than a final, it became a moment of mourning and unity, a rare symbol of solidarity in the middle of a fierce rivalry.
Juventus.
The Derby d'Italia is more than a match. It's a battle of ego, power, and national legitimacy. Its name comes from the fact that, for decades, these were the only two clubs never to have been relegated. One of the first major controversies... Relegated. Chat, help me out with that. Relegated. What does relegated mean? I'm pretty sure they explained it to me before, but it's one of those things where I gotta keep hearing it. Dates back to 1959. In a chaotic game where Juve were leading 1-0, a scuffle broke out. The referee tried to separate the players, but accidentally struck Inter midfielder Giovanni Invernizzi.
What?
He ended the match knocked out. Inter
What?
demanded a replay, arguing the referee was responsible, but the federation validated the result.
Dang, the refs is knocking people out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. To me personally, that would be a little embarrassing. A little embarrassing. I can't lie. I want to see how the ref hit him. Was it like one of those where they was pushing, and then he just made a mistake and just threw his hands up and it hit him in the face? Like, I wonder how was the hit?
Who was president of the federation at that time? Umberto Agnelli, also the president of Juventus. For Inter fans, this moment became one of the first signs of a system tilted in Juve's favor. Another scandal hit 2 years later. The two clubs met on the second-to-last match day, both fighting for the title. But in the first half, chaos erupted in the stands. Crowd trouble forced the match to be abandoned. Inter were initially awarded the win by forfeit. Juve appealed, and the Italian Federation ordered the match to be replayed. A political earthquake in Milan. Outraged, Inter's president condemned the decision as corruption. To protest, he sent a youth team to Turin. Result, Juventus won 9-1 and clinched the title.
Jeez.
And in 2006,
He sent the youth team to play a professional team?
everything blew up. Calciopoli, Juventus were found guilty of influencing refereeing decisions. The sanctions, relegation to Serie B, 2 league titles stripped. One of them handed directly to Inter. Since then, for Inter fans
Wow.
and for many supporters across Italy, Juventus has become synonymous with cheating and manipulation.
So, Chad, do y'all accept that? Like, if you're fans of the other team that stripped Juventus and they gave the title to the other team, do y'all like that? Do y'all count that title or no? Me personally, I don't know. I just feel like we didn't. I feel like we replaying it maybe, but I don't think it. I don't know. I just don't feel like that. I wouldn't. I don't feel like I would really win it. It's given to me. Y'all, you know what I'm saying?
People often call it the fiercest derby in France. But the rivalry between Lyon and Saint-Etienne is much older than football itself. It all begins in the early 19th century. Back then, Lyon was the world capital of silk. Wealthy, influential, built on commerce. Saint-Etienne, meanwhile, produced ribbons. The industrial rivalry was born. Over time, it became social. Lyon was the bourgeois city.
This looks so nice, bro. Like, look at this. This looks amazing, bro. Like, dang.
Saint-Etienne was the working class one. 2 worlds that looked at each other without ever understanding each other. When football arrived, this opposition simply found a new battlefield. In 1919, Saint-Etienne's factory workers founded the Stade Forésien, which would become AS.
I like
Saint-Etienne.
that. Factory, I like that, bro. Bro, I be trying to get my friends, my homies, bro, especially when I was like younger in high school and things like that. I like people who take initiative to try to start stuff, bro, especially like sports and things like that. But it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. And I'm happy that these workers came together, bro, and started something positive and started something great, man.
1933, Olympique Lyonnais wouldn't be created until 1950, but as early as 1936, a match between a Lyon club and the Stéphanois already exploded. Fights, club officials stealing the match revenue.
Jeez, bro. Hey, y'all be fighting, and not only fighting, y'all be sleeping people. Look, y'all be sleeping people.
Of an explosive derby were set. In the 60s and 70s, Saint-Etienne dominated French football. 10 league titles, a European Cup final, and icons like Platini, Larquet, and Rocheteau. Lyon at that time could only watch from afar. But the 2000s flipped the script. Under Jean-Michel Aulas, OL became the new giant of French football. 7 titles in a row. Stars like Juninho, Benzema. Saint-Etienne, meanwhile, struggled to regain its former glory. Certain derby moments have become legendary. Lyon's 5-0 win at Geoffroy Guichard in 2017, a Lyon fan tackling a player during a friendly match, and some infamous banners. Today, Lyon and Saint-Etienne aren't...
Look at this, bro. Look at this. This is a crazy, scene. Bro, this is crazy. I'm telling you, bro, I have never, in a professional sport, I have never seen nothing like this. Like, bro, this is like war, bro. That is crazy, dog.
Always in the same division, but the Derby remains as much a social symbol as a sporting one. Founded in 1887, Celtic represents the Irish Catholic community who came to Glasgow to escape poverty, a club born to help the poor. Opposite them, Rangers identify with Protestantism and British loyalism, monarchy, a strong sense of national identity. Behind the football, there's something else. Here, supporting a club means taking a side. For much of the 20th century, Rangers refused to sign Catholic players, an invisible line, but a very real one. Until the shock of 1989, Mo Johnston, a Celtic Academy product, a former Celtic hero, signs for Rangers. An earthquake, death threats, a Molotov
Jesus.
cocktail thrown at his home,
Jesus.
his car set on fire, bodyguards required. On the pitch, it's electric. Tackles, brawls, insults, stadiums on the edge of eruption. When the old firm arrives, Glasgow stops. Because here, a derby is never just a derby.
Jeez.
The Revere Derby, it's football in its rawest form. Two neighboring clubs, two industrial cities, and a rivalry learned from childhood. Dortmund and Gelsenkirchen are only
Side by
about 30
side.
kilometers apart. For decades, people there worked in mines and steel plants.
Side by side, chat. I told y'all, I think the best rivalries come from when you literally you're in walking distance. You 30 miles away from them. You 20 miles away from them. You 20 minutes away from them. You 10 minutes away. I think those are the best rivalries, bro. I do, bro. I think those are the best rivalries, man.
Families were mixed, lives looked the same, but football drew the line. Historically, Schalke dominated long before the 70s. The club dictated the pace, stacked up titles, and established itself as the Ruhr's reference point. Dortmund took over later, helped by the club's modernization, the yellow
That looks
wall,
so nice.
and their rise in Europe. The derby itself remains completely unpredictable. One of the most iconic matches, 2017. Dortmund were leading 4-0. Everyone thought the game was done. But Schalke came back and snatched a 4-4 draw in the final seconds. A shock, still remembered as one.
So 4-4 draw. I think if it's a draw, right? I think they both get 1 point, if I'm not mistaken. I know this is the Premier League thing, and I'm not sure if these teams are in the Premier League, but I think they get 1 point, right, for ties.
One of the greatest matches in Bundesliga history. Another unforgettable moment, 1999. Goalkeeper Jens Lehmann, playing for Schalke, scores the equalizer in the derby. In the stands, the scene is always breathtaking. Huge tifos, flares, an electric.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, listen, that you cannot bring none of that nowhere, bro. You can't bring no flares, bro. And you can't bring no signs. You can't bring no flags, dog. Like you can't bring no lighters. You can't bring nothing, fam. Nothing. They gonna search you. They gonna pull all that stuff out. You can't bring nothing to these sporting events in the U.S. Nothing. And that's crazy. They got freaking not flashbangs. What you call it? Dang, bro. Smoke. They got freaking smoke right here and all, man. That's crazy. I told you, bro. I would be a little. I'm pretty sure it's kind of different now, but I would be a little worried to bring like my girlfriend to the games because it's so physical. But if I'm by myself or with my homies or something, it'd be better. It'd be better.
Atmosphere. In the Ruhr, they say that when Derby Day comes, the entire region stops. That's it for this first selection of football's fiercest rivalries. And this is only the beginning.
Wait, what did that
That's it
say?
for this first selection of football's
Northside Gay Pride.
fiercest rivalries. And this is only the beginning. In an upcoming video, we'll dive into even more explosive derbies with.
So chat, if y'all want us to dive into the second video or the part 2, let me know in the comments down below. This video was amazing, bro. I like this video. This video was amazing. So if you guys want me to react to the second part, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you're fans of any of these teams, or let me know if you remember the most heated moments that you've ever seen in terms of rivalries also in the comments down below. I really appreciate y'all clicking this video, vibing out with me, man. It's very much appreciated. Thank y'all for helping me learn more about the game. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 1,000. And I do want to say this: a lot of these rivalries, bro, I think it's heated like that because a lot of it is dealing with like politics and things like that. A lot of the rivalries over in the States is kind of like more so of I just don't like you and you don't like me, and we just don't like each other. Over there it's with soccer and football is y'all don't like each other, but it's also kind of like choose a side, you know what I mean? So I think that's why it's a little bit more chaotic and hectic. But without further ado, thank y'all, and I'll see y'all next vid.